So, last month I traveled to Paris with my 15-year-old daughter Alma. On the airplane, I kept on telling her about my first time in Paris when I was 16. I went to the Orangerie Museum, and there, in front of Chaim Sutin's portraits, I started crying. I guess it's the beauty of being 16 and of Paris, but for me, those portraits were kind of an inside look into the human nature, into my human nature. I was moved by them, and still am. 30 years later, I took my daughter Alma to see some art in Paris. It wasn't easy, and I ended up taking her to a show I thought she's gonna like. It was digital and interactive and also millennial, and I found myself standing with her in front of 3 big neon circles. And I was tearing again, but this time from disappointment. Yes, the lights in the gallery did change as we were moving through the space, but they didn't move me at all. For the last 20 years, I've been dealing around digital art. These days, as Leo said, I'm the curator and director of ArtPort residency in Tel Aviv, but I studied my master's at the Interactive Telecommunication program in New York, like Mushon here did, in NYU's art school, and for many years I was breathing, thinking, programming digital interactive art. But as the years passed by, I started realizing that the more digital art I see, the less and less I like it. And I was wondering, what's wrong with me? We are surrounded by great technology, with programmers and artists working together, creating seamless technology. We have VR goggles made out of cardboard, so all things we couldn't even think about 20 years ago. And still, most of the art I see doesn't do anything to me. What's wrong with me? The more digital art I've been seeing in museums and galleries, I started realizing that just like with your lovers, the things that make you fall in love with them originally are the exact same things that will eventually drive you crazy. And I started looking for those things, started looking for those buzzwords in wall text, in press releases, in websites, in my own writing. And I've collected some of those for you today. Things to look at when you hear about a digital art show, things to double think. Here they come: immersive, cutting edge, intimate, interactive, and innovative. Immersive. Last July, the first digital art museum of fine art was opened in Paris. It's a full museum dedicated to digital art. The technology, amazing. Interaction, smoothness. You have Klimt all over you. You can almost feel as if you can kiss Klimt characters yourself. But is this digital art? Not for me. The fact that we took a picture and blew it up to, 20 meters high and projected it doesn't make this digital art. The same way that the amazing Google's art and culture, this app that allows you to go into every little detail of the artwork, isn't digital art. It's exactly what it is. It's a tool that makes you see the art in a different way. I expect more from art. I definitely expect more from digital art. This show reminds me more than anything else, the Candyland, which I took my kids to this summer in New York. It was also immersive, multi-sensory. That's the way this show is described on the website. It was also delicious. But just like the Klimt show, it didn't spark any new idea with me. It didn't make me think of the world in a different way. It didn't make me think at all. If anything, it did the opposite. For me, seeing this 20 meters Klimt only blurs the art. The art for me is pretty much lost in this Vegas extravaganza. Cutting edge. A few years ago, we brought these amazing sand printers to ArtPort. They were specially designed by a tech company that developed special technology for them. The printers were printing archaeological plans on the sand and then erasing them, like Tel Aviv, the city that raised from the sand. The exhibition was smart and beautiful. The printers were a nightmare. We ended up delaying the opening of the show, and from then on, we kept on dealing almost on a daily basis with one printer that wasn't working. One of the machines was too big for the program that was made for it, so the erasing arm would never really work. There were electrical issues, there were programming issues, there were mechanical issues, all kind of things that me and the people who worked in the gallery couldn't deal with on a daily basis. So we had to call the company, who wasn't used to art world budgets and for coming on and maintaining this work. The technology might have been cutting edge, but the gallery and the gallery workers weren't. And then even when the artwork is working, when the technology is working, people seem to focus on the technology. Usually they come over and ask, so how does it really work and which language is the program written in? They're focusing on the technique. It's like asking someone, what strength is the marble the sculpture is made of? And how thick is the canvas? And which company are those pencils from? The problem with technology show-off is that often it covers the essence. It covers the art. Intimate. Many art installations promise us to use technology to create intimate relationship between the viewer and the artwork. The problem is, most of the time, though thank God knocks in the exhibition next door, when you go into the gallery, what you get is this. What it really means most of the time is that you get to use your phone. Most of us have really intimate relationship with our phone, that's true. It's the first thing we think about when we wake up in the morning, it's the last thing we think about when we go to bed. About 70% of us actually take it to the restroom. But if all we want to do in a gallery is use our phone in order to scan QR or watch a video, why do I need to come to the gallery? I'll be much better doing it on my sofa. If it's all about watching art, playing with robots, picking the end of the film, why do I need to take my car, find a parking, pay a museum fee, and step into the museum? The same goes to different kinds of questionnaires and surveys. They can be super sophisticated and artistic, but I'll be much more patient experiencing them on my own computer, my comfortable chair, with my solid internet connection, and without the peer and time pressure at the museum. Maybe we can start giving up the stamp of the gallery and sometimes realize that some art is just better to be viewed at home. Maybe we can think of the App Store as our new museum. Interactive. This one can be tricky, as interactivity is great and can definitely enhance most museum experiences. But most of the time, and once again, thank God, not next door, what you usually see is this. Now, people love seeing themselves on screens, people love taking photos of themselves, people love taking photos of themselves on screens. But this trick has been used so many times that even though it does raise interesting questions about groups and memories and your own body, you really need a good excuse to keep on using it. There are of course other kinds of interactivity. We just don't end up seeing them so often inside the galleries. Museums are already using them in educational programs, in the kids' exhibitions, often in their own website. Can we start using these tools not only in order to enhance other existing art exhibitions, but to create great, new, thought-provoking art? Innovative. Those Chaim Sutin's pictures I was talking about, they're about 100 years old. Michelangelo's sculptures, about 500. Art wants to be eternal. Ideally, it will be ageless. Though being innovative is great, and both Suta and Michelangelo were innovative for their times, we should remember that being innovative isn't a virtue by itself. The problem with innovation is that very soon it will become outdated. This guy